Candidates get situated. Are you ready, Mr. Costantis? That's a pity.
Hello, friends. It's truly an honor to stand before you today. I am proud to represent the Democratic Party's ideals. The American people's varying views, outlooks, and opinions create a diverse electorate that keeps our country strong. I've chosen to run for Senate because I firmly believe that our government desperately needs 3 core values: honesty, equality, and progress.
Woo!
3 core values that mimic those inherent to the Charlottesville High School community, but not to my fellow candidates. Over the course of this debate, I aim to demonstrate, articulate, and prognosticate to you, the American people,
y'all in my way.
The strength of the Commonwealth.
Move.
To push our country forward for the trials of our time and into progressive reform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I go over that?
Let's making sure so we have a signal so candidates will know at any point when there's 5 seconds left and the timekeeper will indicate 2 or 5. Ms. Hall, your opening statement.
Hello everyone, I'm Allie Hall, the Green Party candidate in the Mock Election for Senate. I just want to say how exciting it is to be up here talking about these important issues. And you know, since it's a debate, we're going to spend a lot of time discussing what we disagree about. But I just like to emphasize what we do agree on. Like Manfred and I agree that we need to balance our budget by cutting taxes and reeling back some of the programs we cannot afford. Micah and I agree that we still need to take care of those in society who are struggling to get back up on their feet. We all want a better tomorrow for America, but what steps do we take to get there? The answer is simple. Stop letting all of the corporations control the lives of all Americans. This is one of the many ways that we, as citizens of this great state, can eliminate the muck and deadlock that permeates Washington. This fall, vote all in order to carve a better future for Virginia and for the world we live on.
Thank you, Ms. Hall.
Howdy, everybody. First, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Robinson for having me here today, and thank you, Mr. Costantis and Ms. Hall, for being here. My name, as I hope you all know, is Manfred McGruff, and I represent the Republican Party. I'd like to be senator for this fine state of Virginia, and I'm here to tell you today why I think you should vote for me. At the heart of my platform is to protect that the government is best which governs least. That's a quote directly from our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, and it still holds true to this day. Government has become too darn big in recent years. It's not their job to tell us taxpayers what to eat, what and where our children can go to school, what health care we should buy, or where we can drill for oil. Speaking of taxes, they're too high. As your senator, I'm going to work towards cutting the taxes on the American people. My father was a cattle rancher, and I saw growing up just how detrimental overtaxation can be for working class families. Now, we didn't always have a whole lot of money. The government sure didn't make things easier by crippling us with taxes. In short, a McGruff victory would mean less regulation, less taxation, and more freedom for the American people. Something that has to change in American government, and I'm going to be the one to do it. After all, if you don't try, then why even bother? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll alternate who speaks, and I'll let you know who speaks. We'll have 60 seconds to respond, so timekeepers be ready for 60-second responses now. The first question. In many ways, these are uncertain times for America. We're watching Ebola sweep across Western Africa. We witnessed brutal attacks from terrorist groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda across the world. As Senator, what will you do to keep America safe? We'll begin with Ms. Hall.
All right. So, of course, today we are facing incredible issues, as mentioned, ISIS and Ebola. And I think one thing that's really important for us to do is stay positive and not let panic sweep over our nation. And of course, we already have the largest army in the world. So I think many of the issues aren't going to come home domestically. So it's a question of how we deal with them abroad. And for terrorism abroad, it's important, of course, to go after at its base, such as in Iraq or Syria, the Islamic State. And for Ebola, of course, it's most important to deal with it in the countries where it's affecting the most people, such as Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. And we just need to do those things.
Thank you. And Mr. McGraw.
Well, I'm all for happy feelings and positive sentiment, but I don't think that's really enough here, as Ms. Hall was saying. I think that as the American people, we need to fight to protect American values. And in places such as Iraq and Syria, where the ISIS
He ain't from no goddamn Texas.
is just taking over with terrorism and awful. It's not a good thing. We need to end this because they are threatening not only the stability of the region, but also American values.
He's faking.
They are also killing American troops, and I believe that we need to neutralize this threat in order to protect our nation and the world.
He seems like one of them white people that hang buttons.
Thank you. And Mr. Gustin?
Yes, that is the end of my sentence.
I hope I didn't get that on camera.
Mr. Gustin.
Oh, Mr. Gustin. Go right ahead, sir.
Therefore, sending our troops into combat, I think that's wrong. I don't believe that we should send American lives to deal with foreign problems when we can deal with those problems diplomatically. We don't have to shoot guns and drop bombs in order to have peace in the Middle East.
Boo.
You just said you
He said he's dropping
As
guns.
far as Ebola goes,
I ain't with that.
you guys, Ebola is not as big a deal as it's made out to be in the United States. In the United States. And what I mean by that,
Will you finish your sentence?
yes.
Thank you. I want to follow up, just because there may be some questions lingering in the minds of the voters. One, Ms. Hall and Mr. McGruff, the implication from Mr. Costanza is you're willing to commit ground troops, put troops into combat against Al-Qaeda and ISIS in the Middle East. Is that correct? Just a brief response would be fine. Mr. McGruff?
Well, I
I see.
think that our current approach of bombings, if this does not neutralize the threat, then yes, I would commit ground forces and military offensive to neutralize this threat.
Who?
Thank you. Ms. Hall?
Oh.
I agree with Mr. McGruff for this issue. I believe that obviously there's no diplomatic approach to neutralizing ISIS, and I think ground troops would be necessary should missiles and bombing.
That's what I'm asking. How big she like.
Thanks. Because throughout the evening, what we're trying to do here is find out differences between the candidates. And this is one way to get at it. A real difference is willingness to commit ground troops to combat ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And we found one here today.